Greetings survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here with your weekly news from behind the rusty curtain, and there are two particularly big things lumbering about back there at the moment which you need to know about. Instruments and vehicles. Now, you may remember I touched on instruments briefly at the end of last week's vid, where I mentioned that several were being experimented with, including a trombone, drum, violin and cowbell. Well, to that list you can now add a reworked guitar, a trumpet, tuba and piano, with the last one being mountable. A quick note here though, just because there are 8 different instruments being worked on that I know of, that doesn't mean they'll all be shipping to the game. The aim is to get a good mix of instruments that covers all the relevant bases such as melody, percussion and tone, so that whatever music you may be into, whether that's electronic, rock or pop, you'll be able to make a complete hash of it and just do what everyone's going to, i.e. mindlessly spam noise at each other like a bunch of hyperactive 4-year-olds who've had too many artificial preservatives. It will at least make door camping more interesting. But seriously, whatever mix of instruments we end up with, it seems the days of randomly aiming up and down to hit approximate notes will be gone, because as well as being able to assign a range of notes to an instrument instead of just the one on the guitar that gets pitch shifted, in concert with this it seems it'll be possible to bind notes to keys and even store and play a list of notes on a loop when you left click. Of course, it's all early days. I don't have any visuals or sound clips to give you, and a lot of things may well change. Will we be able to hook this stuff up to an actual keyboard? What about Guitar Hero controller support? I'm jumping ahead of myself and I'm only semi-serious there, so don't take that as gospel. Although it would be quite good. Anyway, the other thing that happened over the last week is that after so many air and water-based shenanigans, it looks like we're going to finally be getting some land transport. And no, horses don't count, I'm talking mechanical stuff. Yes, straight out of
Concept Limbo.
Suddenly, modular vehicles are being tinkered with again. Now, the historians amongst you may recall that back in the spring of last year I showed you these models that seem to be built from various combinations of standard modular parts. This is in keeping with the original concept for cars in Rust, which would see players screwing different cockpits, engines and other modules to chassis they'd find lounging around in the wild. Now, because I don't have any visuals for what's being worked on currently, I can't say for definite that these are the models being used, but assuming they are, you can see the scope that we might have with different lengths of chassis, seating capacity, storage and even trailers. Some of the original concept art from way back in 2015 even featured battering rams and cages of shame, although those were just concepts, so no promises there of course. Thanks in part to another face punch project, Wise Guys, having been cancelled, you'll notice that there are more developers working on Rust right now, which although sad for Wise Guys is good news for us. It also takes a bit of pressure off the rest of the team, and indeed there are a number of different things being done to hopefully up the old performance. It's not all about being able to drive around playing pianos from the back of our pickups, you know. There was an optional server update this week, which was just an EAC backend update plus a fix for keycards not respawning at abandoned cabins, as well as the HDRP branch that's focused on overhauling Rust's graphics and that will hopefully impact performance in a positive way too. There's now a dedicated optimizations branch, plus an updated benchmarking effort which should help highlight which areas need the most attention performance-wise. In addition to this, a new version of Unity, 2019.2, is being tried, and with this, another attempt at getting texture streaming to work with Rust. This is an important tool which manages which textures are loaded in and out of memory and could really help some players. It failed a couple of times previously thanks to bugs in Unity, but all being well, third time could be a charm. I will of course keep you up to date on this and much more in my weekly updates here, so do subscribe, and if you enjoyed this particular slice then please spank the like button. Make sure you've got notifications turned on as well. Come and follow me on Twitch, where I stream 3 times a week, schedule permitting, and join me on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and my Steam group for updates on new videos, etc. You can also support me on Patreon and get access to a special section of my Discord. All the links are in the pinned comment. I shall catch you all soon, of course, but in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio. Pop!